Hello and welcome to my first ever replay of World of Warships, or anything on YouTube for that matter. This game was just too good not to share, I felt, so kind of kicked my ass into gear and has me recording and uploading something. So where you see me today is on good old Two Brothers that I swear we see a little too often, and I'm playing with my good friend Flying Goomba, who is driving his Atago. Going with our standard strategy, which is pick a side and push and hope for the best. Luckily today there doesn't seem to be too many destroyers to face, and both are much lower tier, so they shouldn't be too hard. I believe it was a Sims and a Farragut the other team has in this match. We just see the first of the enemy fighters come. I'm spotted, so I know it's either the destroyer or a cruiser, something I can't see out there.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Throw up my plane. Oh, and there is the first victim ashore, is sailing aside onto a battleship. So as the mighty Jingles classically put it, broadside onto a battleship. Well, that's a paddling.
Target penetrated.
A solid 15,000 damage for a first volley. I will take that any day. For whatever reason, he just doesn't seem to be learning a lesson, so free second shot. Unfortunately, I did a pretty crappy job aiming that one, and they all go a little high as he turned in. One clipped him for 3,000 damage. And give it one last go, because he just keeps giving me that enticing little show. And bang.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Seriously, I don't know why cruisers just insist on running with their side showing. Oh, enemy Sims there, 8.7k in torpedo range. Start turning. Don't want to eat any torps. And I decide to head for the nearest piece of solid land to put it between me and him. Though I don't know that any torpedoes actually ever show up. So we've got a Nagato and a Moggy, and there is a Tirpitz somewhere out there that the second it gets spotted, I jump to see if I have maybe a better shot of him. The shells aren't looking too bad, but I don't have time to look because I have become the focus of some hate. And I just switched to the external camera for a second. I'm pretty sure here my dog or something caught my attention, because I kind of just stare off ahead of my ship and drive in a straight line despite having perfect shots at a slew of different ships. And there goes my division mate in his Atago. A little bit of tunnel vision seeing a low health Sims. He went chasing after it, trying to do his thing too to help me out and make sure a DD didn't just have free shots at big juicy battleship. And unfortunately someone else gets the Sims kill here in a second, and Flying Goomba just ends up left all alone out in the open with 3 battleships eager to hurt him. And I believe it's the Amagi here in a second basically ends his game early. Yeah, there it goes. So he threw off his torpedoes, and he's trying to run just to hopefully survive and continue to provide support. And I just score a nice juicy shot, another Citadel into that Amagi, shaving off 13,000 health. But it was too little too late to save my friend. And one of the cruisers near their base finishes them off here in a second. But I don't have time to think about that. I have 3 battleships and a beautiful side shot as this Amagi is turning. And sadly for him, drives right into them. And right now there would be a lot of games, 75,000 damage, 2 kills. I would be pretty happy with that at the end of the game. But there's an Arizona all alone. Both the Tirpitz and the Nagato have turned around and said, I do not want to face them. And the Arizona is just not fast enough to run away like they are. So he's trying to get behind this island for cover, and I see that, and I smell blood. There he is. Pretty bad angle, but still finish him off. And it's right about now that I notice there's 2 cruisers and an enemy DD about to drive into our cap. And nobody on my team seems at all intent on heading back, so I start coming about and start to close. Now I don't go straight for the base because I'm worried about giving too much of my broadside to that Tirpitz and Nagato. So my plan is to close the land and then go straight north to get back to the base. And in the meantime on the way, take some free shots at a carrier, try to remove their vision and help ours out.
All stations, provide fire support.
That carrier's just too juicy target not to shoot at. First volley hits him for a few thousand, he slows and turns and dodges the second. And then you'll see friendly torp bombers here try to drop at him. And I don't think they ever connect. I think they completely miss or are too spread out, because it should have been more than enough in a single torp to finish him off. Give him one last volley, hoping for the kill here. Ride the shots in. Unfortunately, our Amagi Indias, whose name you will hear again a little bit later, gets the kill. And you'll notice from the map that the only two people heading back to our base, which is currently being capped, are myself and a New Mexico, who just had torp bombers drop at him. And they've almost got it half captured already. Yeah, a bit of a misplay by myself there. I should have aimed much further forward. I think I thought he was about to run aground, and that's what I was waiting for. But shells miss, and that does not spell good, because their cap is slowly building. And from all I'm guessing, they're all hiding behind that island, because you can see the shells coming out at the New Mexico is spotted by aircraft. But lucky for me, their Farragut makes a huge mistake. So it allows me to get the reshots in, and the secondaries start opening up. I start to turn in towards him just in case there's torps in the water. But luckily he decides he doesn't really care about me. What he wants to hit is that New Mex. And my secondaries score a lucky fire right at the end, and if you watch the damage counter in the upper right, it's ticking up, which means that guy is slowly burning down. And I think this Cleveland got a little greedy coming out to try to get some shots in me. Just allowed me to put a couple into him and reset his cap points too. And then once I am in the circle, they can no longer cap. Now I do have to be worried about a DD, but I know he fired off some of the torps that New Mexico and killed him. And I'm just waiting for him to show up. There he is. Don't even have time to get my main batteries on him, and the secondaries finish him off. And just to be safe, I start to turn away, try to dodge any torps, keep my guns on. Get a nice juicy shot into that Cleveland. And I'm throwing these torps out at that Mogami, who at this point I'm very worried about his torps, because I am broadside on, so I keep the rudder over. I think for a while there I was thinking I could just let my secondaries finish the Cleveland. Decide better, put another shell into him.
Torpedoes to port.
And there's the torpedoes.
Torpedoes astern.
Throw the rudder hard over, kill my speed so the bow doesn't go into them. Meanwhile, my secondaries finish my job for me on that Cleveland. Now right here is probably where I make my mistake. I keep turning in, eager to try to finish the kill. I probably should have turned away, would have made it easier for me to dodge torps. But I turned in. Get a big citadel into him, knock him down to a few thousand health remaining, but there are the torps. And with 2 fires, no damage control, another fire and the added damage from those bombers, that is it for me. Luckily, that's it for the Mogami too. A lot of people don't think the secondary build's the best one for battleships. They feel it's a bit of a kind of gimmick, but when you're in close brawling, those secondaries can lay down some damage. I didn't fire a single HE round all game, and I had 5 fires. So it really comes down to your play style. I'm not much of the standoff at distance and shoot kind of guy. I like to get a little brawly with my battleships, so it works for me. And I remember earlier I mentioned that we would see India's name again. Well, here he is. So they've got 2 ships left. There's Saipan, who last spotted was kind of heading towards our cap, and then that Nagato. And India suffers from the common affliction known as no cap, kill all. With us about 15 seconds out from winning the game, the Nagato not even a threat for resetting the cap. He drives out because he wants the kill. And he's chasing. Which right now still looks okay. They're not capping us. We've still got a good cap lead. Who knows, maybe this will work out. Unfortunately for us though, the Saipan knows he has to reset cap if he has a chance at this. So those deadly tier 9 dive bombers that the Saipan has are going straight for our only guy capping, and they're going to land a good hit and reset cap.
Our team has taken the lead.
Meanwhile, their Saipan has started capping, and our carrier is about to lose his 1 remaining torpedo bomber, which you'll see there. Kind of Hail Mary, try to put a torp in the water at theirs, but no chance getting close with a single bomber against a carrier with fighter groups up. The York and Amagi are still chasing off on that Nagato. Well, they just finished him off. The York got some torps in. And I'm hoping now Indiaz realizes his blunder, but he probably thinks it was still the smart play, and I mean, I can't really judge, but he's got to get back to cap if we have any chance of winning this. Because right now, nothing is stopping that Saipan. We have no aircraft left. None of our ships can get any kind of vision to have a chance at resetting their cap. So it's a straight up cap race. And this is where both me and my platoon mate were both begging everyone to get into cap, but also begging this battleship here to not try to drive up the Narrows and reset the other one. I don't know if that was his plan. Just feel it was. He was charging straight at the gap. And maybe he knew we didn't have a chance, but Amagi gets in. Suddenly things are looking better for us. We've got 2 ships capping, about to be 3. We've closed the gap as far as differential, but then those bloody dive bombers show up again. And the Saipan knows exactly who has all the points right now. And makes short work of that. But luckily, saved by that 20-minute timer. The Saipan made a lot of smart plays at the end of the game. He almost won it for them. If there was another 30 seconds left, he would have. But that's not how it went down. Ended up with a victory, and I felt this was a massive game for me. 8,900 experience. That was after win of the day. 727,000. 2 close quarter experts, first blood, Kraken, high caliber, and it's just a flesh wound. I managed to put out 163 damage, got some citadels into pretty much everything I was shooting at, and overall just really pleased with this game. So I'd like to thank those of you who have watched this long for watching. I plan to be putting up videos of ships, tanks, and kind of any other game I get into, and I'm hoping this can be a daily thing, maybe a couple times a week at the least, but thanks for coming.